trees and like that exact color of earth. Like I feel like the same background artist has just been like paid out the ass to do backgrounds in Sinnoh and then just retired for 20 years.
Okay, there we
Uh,
go. We're back.
This
there
series
was
just
actually an interview. Let me see if I can find it. There was actually
Oh,
an
here.
interview with
I found the pictures.
the person who was in charge of
Oh God, what's that quality?
the background work, specifically in Journeys, and how much research they did on like making it as accurate as possible, especially to when like old series. But there's a problem with that, and you could adapt some locations in Journeys did look good, but there's also some locations that are uh like it's the wrong location basically. Like I think there was an episode in that was supposed to be in Luru Town.
Oh yeah,
But
the Rapiid episode.
yeah, and then they didn't even use Luru Town like the design. They used the design for some different Hoenn city that I just can't remember.
I
Maybe
would
that was
say that
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
straight up used the wrong town.
yeah.
one thing that I do appreciate about Horizons is if we're talking about like background art specifically, is that like geographically, I think they did a really, really good job with the Paldea part. Like there's that episode where Roy is like training the Wattrel or whatever. Or like those two episodes. And they're
So
like
what? Yeah.
they're like facing like a cliff, or there's like a hill and then there's a dip down and there's a cliff to the ocean. And to the like right is Brassius's town. I fucking forget what it's called. And to the left is like Lavincia, and it's like, oh shit, like I was there in the game. I think that's like really, really strong. But then they just go to Galar, and it's like, okay, here's Motorstoke, and then we are in like a mine that it's not even like remotely close, and then we're at, like the fucking fanfiction house with like, I don't know, it's very odd. Either
This
way,
guy in the YouTube chat is like ripping us, and
Oh
he does
yeah,
not.
yeah. He was
fucking-
not happy that you guys didn't like Horizons. He was pissed.
I don't not like Horizons. Okay, it's
Well, my
fine.
stream
Yeah, I wanna
glitching, so I
clarify
found
that,
the
like-
guy's gonna find the new one.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that we don't like Horizons. It's that we criticize it and evaluate it for what it is. We aren't just gonna bend over because it's freaking Pokemon. There's processes, there's storytelling, there's a lot of layers to this type of production that people don't really talk about in this fandom. And one of the things about this community is that they
I think you cut out.
go because in the end we want the best result possible. We want the show to be successful. So of course we're going to be critical of it because we want it to be the best it can be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because like we want it to be good. We like it. We just think it could be better.
I mean,
And it's a fresh
my
start.
freaking
too, like-
fan art is Horizons. Even if I'm one of the people in chat that's ripping it at the time. Like I see the good things that it has. It has good character design. It has really good ideas, but there's been a lot of issues and opportunities with the production, with the writing, with the pacing, and that's basically what we're talking about here.
Yeah. I think it's just a very I don't know, it doesn't feel like a strong start. But like when I think about Ash's series, I don't know, like what happened by episode 24?
Like
A
one
lot.
gyms, I guess.
I mean, are we talking OS?
Yes.
If we're talking OS, like I have been watching a little bit of it recently, and just watching episode 1, like the pacing in that is insane. Like they get so much done in just one episode, and it just kind of bothers me looking forward like 25 years later. In the same amount of time, 25 years ago, they could get so much done back then. But I feel like a lot of the modern anime, and this is not just Horizon, I'm talking about like last decade of Ash anime, they just pad out with they so much time. There's like a lot of opportunity for so many things to had been elaborated on, adapted from the games and stuff. But it's like I think Lewis mentioned earlier, they got so into this. Oh, Team Rocket shit man of the day gets lost because of Team Rocket, the blah 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 plot, that they kind of lost their way into it, and now going to Horizons, they just don't know exactly what to do, what to go for, because it's a whole new territory.
Yeah, I mean, I also think that the anime was always kind of a fault for this from the very beginning. Like, I'm looking at these episode lists, and it's like Tentacool and Tentacruel. Like, I wonder what this episode is about. It's almost like they have to market this.
Yeah,
That's when Misty
Pokemon.
catches
Which
her
is-
horsey. That's
And-
that
Okay, but
episode is awesome.
yeah, but that's not like character development. That's a character getting a Pokemon.
You know, I
Right?
get. I'm
It's
just
like- I
being
think
funny.
It's
I know,
advertising
I know.
the Pokemon of
I
the
know,
day.
I know you're saying that, but I need to say that for the people in the audience that think that like it's an insane spoiler that a character catches a Pokemon that they're not going to use
Yeah.
for 20 episodes and will never evolve, will never have like
Right.
any. Yeah.
I think the
don't know,
Tentacle
Pokemon
episode
anime
was the
is just
first
not-
episode of Pokemon I ever watched. I'm pretty sure.
Wasn't it the first one that aired? Or like it's fucking crazy. I feel like that's like in the West.
Yeah, I think that was the first Pokemon episode I ever watched.
It was banned for a bit.
Yeah, that was.
It was, yeah.
That was.
Yeah,
I think the first one I
because of
watched.
the
It was either that or
because-
some random fucking Battle Frontier episode that was airing live on Cartoon Network at the time. It was
I don't
one
know,
of those two things.
My
Yeah,
history
I
of the
do
series
actually
is, like-
very vaguely remember watching when I was like 5 the double battle Frontier where the dude had like I think it was an Arcanine and a Swampert.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tucker.
that I think that was the
Yeah.
first. It was either that one or the Tentacle episode. That was the first episode I watched.
That episode was awesome. And are you like? Can you like? People actually don't like that episode.
which one? The Talker episode?
Yeah, the battle.
That
The
one's
double-
really, the battle is fun. I like that episode. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
to
people.
me it's just like I don't know, the series has always had like one or two consistent problems that nobody really seemed to care about because it was just constantly ongoing and Ash will get a dub someday. But like now that we don't have to deal with those issues anymore, and we're kind of not dealing with those issues anymore, I feel like every like major criticism that you could levy at Ash's series, like narratively, let's say, don't really apply to Horizons. Like, we don't have Pokemon of the Week episodes anymore, and I'm so fucking glad that we don't. We've had like one.
Uh,
No, I missed that.
I know,
I
I'm
feel like
sorry.
the-
Okay.
No, I feel like the advantage the old show had was like, yeah, you're right. The episodes sound boring as shit on paper, but there's a lot of little things like interactions and just fun moments that just make it come to life and make it stand out.
I mean,
Versus
again,
what we
I-
have now,
I
where
said
it's just
earlier,
like
I
battle
don't-
after battle after
I don't
unfinished battle.
think I
He
don't think
hasn't-
that every episode needs to contribute to the plot, which is what I said earlier. But at the same time, I don't think that like the ratio of actual episodes that like you could give a shit about to like Pokemon of the Week where Team Rocket appears and it's like the most formulaic bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like God, I'm so
Yeah,
happy
which
we're
is
past that. But
why
That's-
like
clearly,
Horizons is
want
so
to appeal to
upsetting
that.
because
Yeah,
they,
that's
they
what-
have
that's
the
what-
plot, like they have the plot there, but they could have just done what they were doing before with what they're doing now. They could have just mixed the two together and made the perfect show.
Exactly. That's always like Lewis has a bad point when it comes to the bullshit of the Ash era, and Ev is mentioning the bullshit of Horizons, and that's really the problem. Biggest problem with Horizons right now is that when goal of like the Ash era, it's those interactions that some of the fillers would give us with them meeting the Pokemon, them forming these relationships with the Pokemon. And that's one of the things that I think Horizons is missing. That's why, like Rasen says, this isn't a Pokemon show. Because we don't have that. And that was one of the things that made the prior show so endearing to many. When you do not have that core thing about the relationships between the human and the Pokemon and how they're growing together, it's not, we get kind of what we have right now, I think.
I'm not saying that I think that this is necessarily good or bad, but I do want to make the point that, like, in a previous series, unless you were fucking Greninja or Lucario or some other Shilmon, usually a character would spend a whole episode, like, meeting a Pokemon, becoming friends with it, and then catching it. And then that was kind of just it. At the end of the day, like, I can't think of an episode where, like, one of Brock's random Pokemon or like they would get like a whole like growth over the span of like multiple episodes. I feel like that's what they're doing with every Pokemon in Horizons. Like Watchwell's arc is not done yet. Hatena has just joined. Like if this was the old series, she would have spent the entire episode focusing on Hatena and why it is like the most amazing thing ever, and they would have caught it, and Hatena would have never changed after that. I think it's very possible that that's going to happen with every Pokemon, and I do like that. However,
Have you seen
it's like too early to say.
Have you seen all of DP, Lewis? Because that thing that you just said about like Pokemon getting expanded over the course of multiple episodes was done so well. Like Turtwig learning Energy Ball, like Gliscor learning to fly was literally done so well in DP.
I think
not seeing that in
DP is
Horizon.
DP is like probably the strongest the series has ever been in terms of like narrative, because I mean, like compared to like fucking Hoenn, I don't know. It feels like they knew what they were
The
doing.
man's getting mad.
It feels. It's true. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that
I have
upsets
to
you.
agree.
but-
Hoenn's a fucking wood block, bro. I don't know.
Bro,
Look, okay,
I
I think
Hoenn-
if you want to watch 100 episodes of the same thing, that's totally okay. Right?
No.
Like,
Yeah.
if you guys watch Advanced Generation, Advanced Battle, all that stuff, Battle Frontier, you will see how Hoenn like planted the seeds for every series moving forward.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's not shit to watch, though.
Especially Diamond and Pearl,
when I established the formula, but everything else after did
Yeah.
better.
Hoenn introduced it, everything else surpassed it.
and then everything capitalized it
Mhm.
because Hoenn was the start where the writers started taking battle seriously, where they started caring about writing an actual like overarching narrative. The Team Magma, Team Aqua, they appeared in like the third episode, and it's like all of that, like the stuff with May and actually having a purpose instead of being a Misty type character where she's just there and she's just she doesn't really have anything going on. It's like stuff like that, and then Ash actually like spending episodes where he's bonding with his Pokemon, but he's also bringing out.
Now and then, I like that.
I would certainly hope that these things would happen 300 episodes into the series, right? Like, I don't think Hoenn or Sinnoh gets any points for like doing things that probably should have been done way earlier. I think just the thing with Sinnoh is that, and again, I only think this really applies to Ash and maybe like 2 of Dawn's Pokemon and like maybe 1 of Paul's. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of shit in Sinnoh that is like good, but ultimately it's like spread way too thin across like a few of Ash's Mons. And I feel like Horizons is probably gonna do that with every Pokemon that isn't called Terapagos. Like Sprigatito is probably gonna get some. Like, wasn't it in this new episode? Wasn't it like pissed off? Because of Terapagos?
Jealous
It was
of
jealous.
Terapagos. I don't think it was jealous of Hatena because it like bonded with Hatena, but it hasn't done the same thing with Terapagos, which like makes sense.
Yeah, and I think 24 episodes into knowing that Pokemon, I think that's good. Granted,
But
they also did the same thing with Watchful and Fuecoco, but
that was already a thing with what's the name of that dog bear?
Fido.
Yeah, that one. They had the same thing going on with that. Like they touched on it. That was like the whole plot of the episode where it's like, Sprigatito's getting pissed off at Liko because of this random dog it's not even Liko's Pokemon. And then they spend the episode, recovering their relationship and everything like that. And then they're doing it again here, but it's just like, how many times are we going to go through the same exact thing with the same Pokemon? Like in the Ash story, we went through the same, abused Pokemon that's like released like 8 times, like with every single fire type. But that was like different Pokemon though. This is with Sprigatito, it's the same Pokemon going through the same conflicts over and over again, and it's really just, it's like, what else are we going to do with that?
I think there's a lot of ways to go. I think that you could quite easily like make a whole series about Sprigatito and Liko just on their own. I don't think that's out of the question. And you could also make it good. But the crazy thing is, like, I would rather Sprigatito like change and grow as a character and less so a Pokemon, because again, anime Pokemon fans only give a shit about an episode if a Pokemon is caught, if a Pokemon is evolved, or if a battle is won. Realistically, the footnotes of like you would go on like I'm pretty sure Joe still does this, but like you could go on Cerebi and it's like, oh, there are like spoilers in this episode because somebody caught a Pokemon. It's like is this really like the extent of what the fandom sees? Like I would rather have
Yes.
Pokemon that
Have
take
you
a long.
seen the rewrites?
Bro,
I would
yo,
rather.
Rasmus, why are you talking like you're immune to this shit? Like you were bitching and moaning so hard like during the Paldea arc because Liko hadn't caught a Pokemon yet. Like, dude,
Because
I-
what
now
the
that shit's
fuck else
scot-free,
was
bro.
she doing?
No, that's a fair criticism. Okay, it's totally fair
Yeah.
criticism.
What was she
Independent
doing?
of that issue. But I will say that I don't mind like the idea of, oh, this Pokemon is not evolving or like learning a new move or like having a battle anytime soon, but it's still developing outside of that. Even if it's like a slow burn, I think it's fine. If every Pokemon was like that, maybe it would be a little much. They have to balance it. But I do think that's better than, oh, it evolved into Floragato, which is a big moment for its character, but not really, because it just changes the design. And it doesn't like inform the personality of the Pokemon at all. I think that ironically in Pest series you'd get Pokemon that would literally only exist as like tools for a fight. And that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Draco-ish.
Journeys is a fucking meme in that regard. Like every
Draco-ish
character that
is
is not
fucking
Pikachu or
weapon.
Lucario gets like zero development. Like nobody actually cares. God, I forgot
Careful,
that they.
the Surfetch bros are gonna fucking go crazy on you.
Yeah, I'm sure the funny duck is gonna be whatever. I don't know. It's whatever. I think that the series is doing a decent job of like building up Pokemon throughout multiple episodes. And again, some Pokemon it gets like cut short because they figure it out. Like Wattrel, I think we don't need another episode of Wattrel being an asshole to Fuecoco. I don't think that
It's
needs
gonna
to
happen again, bro. The next filler.
Well, if
episode
it
will be-
if it does, and they make it interesting or they make it funny, that's fine. Okay, I'm down with that. We just don't need to relitigate it in exactly the same way.
Dude, imagine if they made a Kilowattrel evolution called Terrawattrel. That would be so fucking hype. Imagine.
No, man.
No.
No.
man.
Make it. Well, you see, how
we
the fuck
don't
could you make
we
it
don't
uglier
need
than
more fucking like
Kilowattrel?
Miss Magius Rayquaza bullshit. Okay, get that shit out of here. Fucking anime form only bullshit.
But let me
Get that shit.
let me address what Moose said.
I love that shit.
So during the Paldea arc, okay,
Here
during
we
the
go.
Paldea arc, the Paldea arc is something special because we had these characters they were going through the motions of the story, but they were also kind of developing throughout the story. But the problem is the one character that was supposed to be developing wasn't, and that was Liko. Roy was going through his Paldea was like a little training arc for Roy. You know, the way Roy was going into the Paldea and how after they left, he's like completely different dude in regards to as like a trainer.
Yeah, I agree.
But with Liko, it's like she spent the whole arc worrying, trying to bring Dot out of her shell, that she didn't get to go through anything notable herself. So yeah, I was complaining about her not getting a new capture, not doing anything with Sprigatito. She did do something with Sprigatito. She did the same thing that she did in a previous episode that only happened a couple episodes before, and that was them, reaffirming their relationship or whatever. It's like, how many times are we going to waste time on that before Liko finally gets to do something? So it took until the Kabu episode for Liko to actually
14th training episode.
Yes, to have some type of character development, because otherwise Liko was just there. She was I don't want to be rude when I say this, but she was like the maid of the ship, because she would be
I don't like
helping
that.
she was like helping
they
Dot
realized
every
what
needs,
they did
and
wrong.
bringing Roy his sandwiches, and
I
it's
hated
like
that so much.
she wasn't
Arc.
doing anything the whole arc. So the big whole Spinel clash, it's like I felt like the outlier because everybody was gassing that episode up because of the animation and the trio and all that kind of stuff. But when you really look at it, it's like Roy was doing something. It's like you could see Watrell and Fuecoco, doing their team up that leads into the next episode. That was something. Dot and Quaxley's first battle, they're experiencing that for the first time. That was something. But when you look at Liko and Sprigatito, they were just doing the same thing that they always did. Big Konoha, and then that was it. And then have the Pokemon come save her at the end. It was literally the same exact stuff that we've already seen from Liko too many times to count. And it felt like she just felt so
One positive thing that I can say about the Galar arc is that Liko is actually I feel like the writers are correcting the mistakes that they made of not developing Liko at all in the Paldea arc and actually letting her personality of this overly shy, compassionate girl actually get some development with that Moltres episode, which I actually really liked, apart from the fact that episode 23 didn't connect to 22 for shit. But the actual plot of the episode, watching on a second by second basis was great.
I super agree with that. But again, I think it says a lot when the second arc, I don't know what we even refer to them as, but the Gala series of episodes, I don't like how much of an overcorrection that feels.
It feels like everything's about Liko. And it feels like everything, I said it earlier, everything that happened, having episodes that delve into each character, the Molly and Arboliva, Murdoch and Dot, the old man and his fucking Quagsire, and then Freed and his backstory with Cap. It's like everybody got something out of that arc. In Galar, it's like nobody is relevant except Liko. Literally, Roy hasn't done anything. Freed is doing the same old Amethio battle. All the other RVTs are literally on the ship for no reason. Why are they on there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the
series
RVT
is
are
just
probably going to jump into the fight next episode.
No way.
No.
How the fuck else is Pikachu going to get in there, bro? And who's gonna fight Sango?
He's gonna fucking fly.
They're not gonna finish again.
Dude,
he's gonna
oh
fly
my God.
No one's gonna win the battle.
Dude,
it's literally Charizard Cerulege,
no,
man. We've seen
no,
this 5 times. Exactly.
Dude, listen. Sango and I think his name's Onyx or something. Need to fight somebody. Okay, they're sure as hell not gonna fight Liko and Roy. So
I can't wait for them to fight Liko and Roy for 3 minutes and they get saved by Charizard. It's gonna happen. I'll put money on it right now.
Dude, shut the fuck up. No. There's no way that
there's no way how it's gonna do the same thing for the 7th time. No shot.
If Reed does not have the Terror Orb, there's no way he just outright beats a Methio and can still fucking fight all of them. Although wait, maybe
he has 2 Pokemon.
Pikachu could fight. Fuck.
You know what's gonna happen? Graphicus is gonna make a giant shield and they're gonna fly away. The end.
As we've established, the issue with this series is that they have 3 protags when they should really only have 1. Whether they want it to be that cool Ash fucking 2.0, whether they want it to be Roy or Liko, I feel like having 3 is really fucking whack because
and then you technically have
getting the
technically 4. Technically 4 because
oh Christ. Yeah, what the fuck?
It's they're managing they're juggling all the characters, but they're not really doing anything with all it feels like they haven't made that much progress. I think somebody said it. I don't know who said it earlier. But it doesn't feel like we're at episode 25 and we're about to go into the next arc, and it does not feel like anybody has made any sort of progress since the show started. It feels like there's a bare minimum of improvement. Roy is a better trainer, but otherwise as a character, Roy is still the same as he was when he was on the island. Liko is a little bit more outgoing, but she's still the whatever, however you describe Liko character. People describe her in all kinds of different ways. Freed is still the action hero that everybody loves, but they're not really doing anything in regards to character development for Freed. And the
If he develops,
RVT,
he's just gonna forget it.
yeah,
Well,
he's
I
just
mean,
gonna forget it.
well, because there's no possible character development. He's a fucking Gary Stu. He already has everything. Even the Terra Orb can't even get that.
And then the RVT are still the RVT. The explorers are. We still don't even know. Like Zur has still not said his name yet. Like nobody knows this guy's
To be
name.
honest,
He's
I don't know
there.
shit about Emethio, and they've introduced like 6 more of the
Dude,
fuckers.
I mean,
Amethio-
What do
Amethio
you want me to have an
Dude,
opinion on
Dude,
at this point? You know?
Amethio, like, actually, they should have shown some scenes of him, like, interspersed throughout the Paldea arc. Like, him
been a
being gone
Amethio
for so long
since-
and acting the exact same way he did when he first met Freed, if not even more taciturn than he was before, is kinda weird.
And
I
then the
think-
whole thing with him and the explorers, it's like it's like they had this whole thing kicking him off the mission and whatever, and then what's his name? Amethio sends Hamburglar the video, and Hamburglar's like, oh well, you're cool or whatever. Just don't do that again. Basically, it's like nothing is happening. Nothing is changing. The stakes are nowhere. Everybody is still the same way that they were when they were introduced into the show. There's no
Yeah.
progress.
Yeah.
It's also just like
And
I
now
think part
Grandma's
of
joining
the-
the crew.
And now
Another member.
Grandma.
Jesus. I think part of the reason is like, and I think you just said it earlier, but it's like you have like a character moment, and then that character shows up later as if that character moment never happened, because it feels like they were like, okay, we need to have, let's say, a Roy episode where we focus on Roy. Suikoku learns a new move. Or a Pokemon, like something big, quote unquote, big happens. But then, like the next 8 episodes, they barely interact with like the rest of the cast. They're completely subservient to the main character that they want to focus on, and it's just like, well, what's even the point in that Roy episode anymore? Because by the time Roy like gets to do something again, everything from that episode has basically just been forgotten. It's been like 2 months. Like, what the fuck does episode 17 matter at all? What's the point? What's the point in that Wattrel and Fuecoco episode at this point in the series? There is none. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Yeah. I was about to say, yeah, I think we gotta wrap it up. We've been going at it for like fucking.
Like two-
We've been
2.5
shitting on this thing for
hours.
2.5
2.5
hours.
Yeah,
hours.
I've been sitting right
Wow.
on this shit.
Damn.
Well, I don't know when we're gonna be able to do this again. Maybe next week. I'll have to see in my schedule. Might have to do.
I'd be super down if it was not 2.5 hours.
Yeah. We might have to.
We
limit
should
these to,
put
like,
an
1
upper
hour.
limit. Okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
should. I mean, me, I'm like Home Alone today, so like I was like, all right, I'm gonna go for 5 hours. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, I think we should end it here. Overall, I think we discussed pretty much everything we want to when it came to like the topics and stuff. So yeah, we did good.
Yeah, I think we'll have way less to talk about next week.
Yeah,
So
it
because
was-
we're gonna get 1 episode to talk about.
Yeah, and I think the
Yeah.
No, I
episode
think-
will give us more to talk about.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
and it's gonna be the end. It's gonna be the end of the arc.
and
so
then we
it's
can
like we
finally
can-
give our ratings of the arc. Yeah, but
Yeah, we can
all right.
get.
All right. Well,
Yeah, they're setting it up.
what?
What you all
They're
just
setting
cut
it
out
up
at the
with
same
like
time.
battles and all this.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
actually
It should have
shit
some
happening. Actually, it sounds like kind of packed, if you ask me. Like, seems kind of like they might have to cut out the OP for that episode. I hope they did.
No.
Didn't they do that for episode 18? I'm pretty sure the
I have no
opening.
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure
think
the
they
opening.
did.
I'm pretty sure the opening didn't air in episode 18.
Yeah, I think I
Oh,
did get it.
the song ad. I'm pretty sure, but not
Yeah,
like
the song aired at the end.
Yeah,
but
yeah. But yeah,
The
I know
actual visual.
No,
I remember the airing of that episode being a bit different.
Yeah. That episode, like, that was like Tobiyasu classic. I'm not gonna lie. All right.
Yeah,
Well-
Moo, you're right. There's no opening.
Yeah. All right. Well. All right. Thanks everyone for coming out today. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no problem.
enjoyed
Thanks
it.
for hosting.
Definitely.
Thanks for letting us shit on
Yeah.
Horizon.
Thanks for hosting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see how much
Yeah.
people bitch about it on Twitter. All right. See you guys next time.
All right.
Peace.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Peace.